All right. So you didn't have the part yet?
Nope. I just pulled the motor. I was gonna send it in to get it redone.
Okay.
And yeah.
What do you think is wrong with it?
I don't know. I really don't know. This is my first bike.
Oh, really?
It, blew it up 3 days later. It was brand new.
No way.
Brand new everything. He said the motor was fully rebuilt.
Who'd you buy it from? You know?
A guy out of Wausau. I don't know his name.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, fully like bottom end, top end?
Bottom end, top end, yep.
Wow, that sucks. How much did you pay for it?
$3,000.
Oh, dude.
Yep.
That sucks.
For 3 days. That's all she wrote. It was really clean. I just haven't washed it. I mean, blew it up, pulled the motor, and then I started looking up parts and called up my motor guy. He said $600 just to tear it down and look at it, put it back together, and then that's when I backed out.
Oh yeah, because then parts another grand. Yeah.
I was like, I ain't gonna be $4,000 into this thing, minimum.
Yeah. Wow.
Yep, but the rest of it's in here. The motor.
Okay.
Right here. I mean, it's tight. I do not know what's wrong with it.
Oh boy.
But my buddies say it could be as simple as the piston was in backwards and it got hot, locked up. He said, or he could have spun the crank. Then nobody knows, but you can tell how new these gaskets are and everything on here. I mean,
yeah. So what happened when it locked up?
I was going straight right around here. I was actually headed right there, down in the woods, and all of a sudden just. No bang, no pop. It just like it ran out of gas.
What mix were you running in it?
32-1, I think it was. Okay. Was what he told me to run.
Huh.
I mean, it's still mixing here.
Wow. Yeah, it looks clean. Looks like all the parts are nice.
Yeah.
He put all new graphics on it, looks like, too.
Yep. And then I just, when I took out the motor, all these parts, I just put them in the bucket so I didn't lose any. All the motor parts. I didn't take nothing off the motor. This is just all installed.
Okay.
The motor.
You weren't tempted to take the head off?
Touching it. I don't know nothing about them. If I was gonna do it, I'd send it up to the motor guy and let him take care of it or sell it. And call up the motor guy, and like I said, he said $600 to tear it apart and put it back together. And that is when I said.
What'd the coolant look like when you took it out?
I might still have it right here.
No oil in it or anything?
No.
Did you drain the oil out of the engine yet, or no?
I did.
What did that look like?
I did indeed. I do not have that. But
Was it white by chance, or no?
There wasn't no chunks in it even. I'm clueless.
That's really weird.
I was expecting to have something cool fall out.
Yeah. Give you an idea of what's going on at least. Huh.
Yep.
Huh. He put a new pipe on it too, looks like. New seat cover.
I mean, yeah, the way the bike looked when I bought it, it shined like no other.
Yeah.
And it ran great.
It's got the original carb too, that's good. Looks like it. Yeah. So it ran good until it didn't.
Until it didn't.
Oh.
Second kick. Never had to kick it more than twice.
Wow.
Never up like nothing. Never.
Did it shift pretty smooth too?
Yep. Never even. Clutch was great. Never. I mean, I've owned quads before, and so I know a little bit about it. A little bit, but I'm clueless on this one.
Huh. Shift smooth still, that's good. Yeah, it could just be piston and cylinder failure. Or like you said, rod. Did he say what piston he put in there?
No. Nope, he didn't have anything for me on that.
He didn't say if it was bored over at all?
Well, you know it's not bored over. It's stock bore.
Okay. Stock bore. All right, and you said 13?
Yep.
Is that the absolute lowest you'll go?
I'm already losing my ass on it.
Yeah, I hear you. It's gonna need. I was looking up cylinders on the way over here. I'm like, oh, come on.
Yeah,
on eBay.
It was. You got the offer right now. I mean, I could do probably 12.50, but I can't go below 12. Otherwise, I got a guy that wants to trade me a Jeep.
Oh yeah.
Jeep Wrangler, yeah. But
Oh boy.
It's riding all the fuck.
It's a project Jeep.
Yeah.
Not a bad trade if you get it running though.
Yeah.
You know.
Oh, I can't go any lower than 12. Cylinders are what, 400? 500?
Yeah, 500 I think, with like shipping. That sucks. I wonder if you can have it replated or.
Re-nick is sealed.
You can. How much is that?
Country Sports does it about $200 and all said and done.
That's not too bad.
Yep.
And a new piston. I guess that's not too bad. $150 for a piston probably.
If that, yeah.
And then new crank and rod. I think
That'd
we're at
probably be the most expensive.
probably 400.
And then you'd be into it about two
grand. Yeah.
I'm into it 3. And I mean everything's new. It was just.
Was the clutch new too? Did you say?
Yep.
Really?
I mean, it ran like a dream.
Yeah.
Because it didn't pop, bang, make any noise besides when its final shut off.
So was it instantly hard to kick right when it did that?
Yep.
When you tried to start it back up? Yep. I wonder if he forgot to drill those 2 holes by the skirt. A lot of people forget that on the piston. And it gets hot right in that skirt piece.
I have no idea.
Alright. Well, I'll give you 12 for it.
Alright, perfect.
Look over the rest of the bike here. I think it might be a 2001 though. 1, 2, 3, 4. According to the frame. I think it's a 2001, not a 2003.
I have no idea. He just
he had it listed as he had it.
03.
Okay.
He had it listed as 03.
Huh? That's weird. Wonder why. Maybe the engine's in 2003. Cause yeah, there's just a 1 right there. Alright, well we've got the bike in pieces here, heading back. The guy said he bought the bike for $3,000, as you guys heard in the video, and then sold it to me for 12. Originally it was up for 25, then he marked it down to 17, and then I offered help today. He came back with 13, and then I went there and we decided on 12. So I got the bike for 12. The whole crank was redone, the piston was redone, the whole top end was done, the clutch was done, he said, by the previous owner. And he said he rode it 3 times and it blew up. So we'll see what was going on with it. And he's got the old gas and the gas tank yet, so we'll see what that looks like too. Maybe he just mixed it wrong. We are just going to piece this whole thing back together just to make sure all the parts are here and just kind of see what this bike will look like when it's finished up. And then we'll start digging into the engine to see what went wrong. Going over the bike, when I was there I found out it was a 2001, not a 2003. You can see the 10th digit, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, is a 1. So it was advertised as a 2003. I told him that when I was there, and he said the guy before him sold it as a 2003 as well. So, yeah, it is a 2001. Tires look pretty good. It looks like they were new at one point. Looks like the guy that sold it to him probably put those on there. They're pretty beefy yet. Looks like he was riding on the road. Sprockets are pretty decent, pretty squared off yet. So those look pretty newish. All the graphics were new when he bought the bike. It looks like all the plastics were brand new. Really, really nice plastics. Looks like the pipe was new. It's got the FMF fatty pipe. Gold series. A couple small dents in there though. I'm wondering what those would be from. It's got the FMF shorty pipe as well on there. It's got a newer chain, and then it looks like the guts seat cover. And it does have the original carb yet. I made sure of that. So that looks good. I'm wondering if this thing was jetted wrong, or if the fuel was incorrect in here. But yeah, it looks pretty decent. Got the Pro Taper bars. I wonder why he didn't have matching grips on here. That's kind of strange. After redoing a whole build, and you put two different grips on there. Air filter doesn't look too dirty. I thought maybe it was a dirty air filter sucking things in through the engine that caused it to lock up, but it doesn't look too bad. We'll take a closer look at that in a little bit. One thing I did notice was the adjuster is stuck in the swing arm right there. It's a pretty common problem on these bikes. This is aluminum, soft aluminum. And when they try to backlight out, a lot of times they get frozen in there. So that's not good. We'll have to get a new one of those. But the one on here looks decent. So only one of them was stripped out. Both brakes do work. Frame looks good. No big dents in the frame or anything. Wiring looks good. So everything else on this bike looks pretty decent. Fork seals are not leaking at all. Looks like those were redone as well. And like I said before, the guy paid $3 grand for the bike and only rode it twice. Alright, this bike looks pretty sweet. I can see why I paid $3,000 for it. I think it's super clean. Look at this thing. That's an awesome looking bike. Look how clean that thing is. Yeah, all the plastics are brand new. Graphics are brand new. Yeah, it's looking pretty good. This is definitely worth fixing up. So all the parts were there, and I have to give the guy props. He did a great job of tearing down the bike and putting each bolt back to where it was supposed to be. And then he organized them all in the box. It was really, really nice putting this thing back together. It took me like 0 time at all to do it because the guy took it apart so nicely. So yeah, it's all there. Looks good. He wasn't missing any parts, which is very rare. So yeah, pretty cool looking bike. All right, so we're gonna start by going through the gas tank first, just seeing what's going on with the gas. See if he mixed it rich enough. So we're looking for oil in the gas. Hopefully he remembered to do it. He said he ran 32 to 1, which is plenty of oil for a 2-stroke. I usually run 40 to 1. Yeah, it looks like he's got plenty of oil in here. Pretty dark mixture there. So I don't think it was a fuel related problem. Looks like it's getting plenty of oil to the system. You know, it could have been jetted. Too lean. We'll have to check that in a little bit. But at least that checks out. That looks good. Doesn't look like any water in the gas. He drained out the coolant. I don't know if you guys saw in the video, but he showed me the coolant, and there was no oil in the coolant, no imperfections in the coolant, so the coolant looked perfect. He said the oil was not milky at all, but we're gonna quick check it just to make sure. Let's see, where is the oil drain bolt on this? Oh, well, that sucks. Well, he lied about that. That is a big bummer. I asked him if he drained the oil out and he said he did. It'd be pretty tough to do when it's JB welded shut. I was looking for the drain bolt and I couldn't find it. Somebody just JB welded that thing. Huh. So how are you supposed to drain the oil? I asked him, you guys can hear him in the video, I said, well, did you drain the oil? He said, yeah. I said, how'd it look? It wasn't milky? Nope. He's like, I was expecting to find some chunks in there and didn't find any. How the heck did he drain the oil with the drain bolt gone? Unless he just dumped it over or drained it out of the clutch area. I'm not sure. Huh. Well, that sucks. Oh, man. Yeah. Well, he didn't tell me about that. Is there anything in there? Let's see if it's milky. It looks like it might be a little bit milky, actually. Doesn't that? Yeah, that looks milky. Pretty sure. So, that looks like it might be a water pump failure. Hard to tell until we drain that oil out, but there's definitely oil in it. It was not drained out. At least drain some of it from there. You can see that's dented in, and it's leaking from here as well. A little crack in there. See that? So that either needs to be repaired or replaced. Alright, here's the oil coming out. It's just very gray. I don't know if I'd consider that milky or not. Might just be from the clutch plates. He also said there's a new clutch in here. Does not look like a new clutch. You can see it does not turn over at all. Completely locked up. So that thing is solid, tight on there. If we can. Yeah, I would say that oil is gray, so probably not milky. I think it's just from the clutch. But either way, we'll check the water pump seals and make sure those are good. But looking at the oil, so far no metal shavings at all. So hopefully it's not the crank, and hopefully it's just a piston. Alright, so maybe we'll get really lucky and it's just something dumb that's messed up with this thing. But I highly doubt that. He said he was riding it, and then all of a sudden it lost power, and then it locked up on him. Let's see what the spark plug looks like here. Looks like a newer plug. Couple carbon deposits on there. It looks like it was running okay. Wasn't running too lean. So I wonder if something was installed incorrectly on this bike. And the guy said he didn't have the top end off, so we'll see. Let's see what's underneath here. Oh, those were pretty loose. 100%. Those were so loose. That's not good. That is not good. I'm having a bad feeling. How bad could it be though? We will find out right now. These were almost hand tight on here. I mean, those were pretty loose. I don't want to drop anything in there. Alright, here we go. Moment of truth. Let's see what's in here. Looks like maybe the head gasket failed. You can see that got pretty hot right there. Head looks good. Alright, so far so good. Head looks really good. So if it was bad, you'd see a bunch of dings right here. Heating up that metal. So, alright, so that doesn't look too bad. Alright, we're just gonna put a little oil down here. Maybe it'll free up on its own here. The cylinder honestly doesn't look that bad. What the heck? Let's take a closer peek in there. I can see a little chunk of the pistons off. But looking in here, not seeing any big scratches or anything. Super weird. Right here, I can see like a little chunk off the piston. See if I can zoom in here. See in that corner, there's like a little chunk missing. Right there. You guys can see it, but there's a little chunk missing. Is the piston pointing the right way? It's hard to tell. I can't see an arrow. Oh yeah, I think there's an arrow right there. So it looks like it's pointing the right way. Huh. Wonder if it's crank. He said top and bottom end was rebuilt, but maybe the bottom end wasn't. Power valves. Yeah, everything looks good in here too. It moves up and down. Let's see if those are moving. Power valves look great in there. Come on. There we go. Now it's free floating. Definitely didn't take off the cylinder. So I'm pretty sure he had off the head and then didn't go any further than that. looking at the gaskets, they're all green, so it was rebuilt at one point. Weren't super tight on there. We have expected them to be tighter. Alright, let's try to get the cylinder off if the piston's not stuck in there. Doesn't feel like it. Oh, what the heck? Cylinder feels pretty good. Huh. I don't think there's any scratches on the cylinder. Alright, cylinder looks pretty decent. See, the piston right here is pretty chewed up. Looks like it was getting chewed up on the top here. Looks like little pieces of sand were in it. You know what I wonder? I wonder if when they honed it out, they didn't clean it up enough. And that honing material just ate away at this piston. Looks like it was sandblasted. Definitely rebuilt the top end here. Brand new gaskets on here. See, the ring is completely stuck on the piston. So the piston definitely got hot. Something scored it right there at the back of it. Huh. I'm just checking right now that the little circlips are in there, because maybe one of those came off and lodged everything up. But nope, both circlips are in there. Let's take off this cover and see if I can rotate the engine. I think I might be able to. Maybe it's not a rod bearing. Wishful thinking. Let's just see. It looks like a piece of metal from the piston got lodged in there. Let's try going the other way with it once. See if she frees up at all. Oh yeah, she's moving. Something's crunching there. Something is definitely crunchy. Ooh. Yeah, it looks like rod bearing. And the bearing up here too. Both rod bearings. Huh, something got hot. Something happened. Alright, piston coming off. Let's see what the bearing feels like up here. Oh man, that's toast. This roller bearing does not roll at all. Look at that. Locked up completely. So something wasn't getting lubricated. There's a hot rods crank in there, so I think it was rebuilt. What the heck? Look at that. Wow. Yeah, something just got too hot. Huh. Because both bearings are just shot. And it looks like it's brand new. Brand new crank and rod in there. Oh man, does that suck. Alright, taking a look at the piston. You can see there's like a bunch of pittings on the top. It's really pretty bad. Surprised the cylinder didn't score. Look at that big chunk out of there. Ring stuck. Piston was in the right way, but it looks like they never drilled the holes. I believe you're supposed to have these holes drilled. Let me go check and see if there's a skirt on here. That could be part of the reason. Yep, so you see that skirt right there? If you have that thin skirt, you're supposed to drill holes on the exhaust side of the piston so it cools it down. So that's part of the problem. They forgot to drill those. Alright, another problem we found. You can see this stud. It's supposed to be really tight in there. It's just loose. See if the other ones are loose. That's pretty tight. So this one was loose. Alright, let's start tearing into this thing, see what we find here. So far it looks like maybe when he honed it out, he didn't clean it off very well. So that's one thing. The other thing was the stud was loose, and then the piston was not drilled out for the skirt. So let's see what else we find. Rebuilt. Oh, no, there are different reeds in there. Looks like he's got some carbon fiber going on. You can see reeds are really nice. No chipping. Can't see any light through it, so he went with the carbon fiber reeds on here. A little bit's chipped off right there, you can see. Not all the way through, but yeah, those look pretty good. Come off of here. Looks like that nut was just forced on there. You can see it's all stripped out in there. Popped right off. Flywheel looks pretty good. Where each bolt went. And then save the bolts. So this one goes in the top left, top right, bottom. Enough. There we go. Housing looks good. Propeller is still attached, moving the shaft here, so everything looks good there. Guessing a bunch of oil is going to pour out. Let's see. Or at least some. We weren't able to drain the whole thing. Pretty clean. Everything's looking good. Basket's like perfect. Everything looks really, really clean. Water pump bearing. Feels good. I was thinking maybe that was locked up or something. Or it wasn't moving and cooling down the bike, but that looks good. Starter gear. Spring. Vinny's making noise there. That comes out. Bearing. There's a push rod in there. Right on it. So far. Washer. Take the shift rod out. Take this off too, because that'll probably get in the way. Washer in there. Alright. Alright, let's get all these bolts off of it. Holding the cases together. Case splitter here. Let's start splitting this case. Gotta get this lined up. We'll go with that one right there. Should be a fairly easy split. Yeah. I would think, because it was just redone. At least it looks like it. This back ends are always a little stubborn. Maybe we didn't. What we got here? Alright, no metal shavings or anything down here, which is really weird. There's the JB Weld. Transmission looks pretty good. Not too much wear and tear on there. And here's the crank. We'll get that out of there, check out that rod bearing, see what that looks like. Alright, check that out. That crank bearing's toast. Listen to that. That one's bad. Those all feel pretty decent. But yeah, crank bearing's toast. You can see the rust actually on the bearing. So that rust is pretty good in there. I'm kind of thinking he didn't replace the bearings when he did the new crank or rod. I don't know if it's a new crank and new rod or just a new rod. Yeah, this crank bearing's toast as well. Really bad. Alright, yeah, that rod bearing, those are completely gone in there. They're just completely flattened out. It's really bad. It got pretty hot. So crank looks pretty good yet. We'll have to see if we can clean up the threads on the end here before moving on, but yeah, I think we just need a new rod bearing. So we pretty much lucked out here. The whole top end was pretty much fine except the piston, so that was all good. So really it's just the crank and the case halves that need to be replaced. So we're looking at probably $1,000 for the whole repair, not including labor, which is my labor, so it's free. But yeah, it's a nice bike, and I think it'll be worth putting another $1,000 into the bike to get it to where it needs to be. So once we get that engine rebuilt, this thing's gonna be like a brand new bike. So definitely worth it to me. I paid $1,200 for it, and we'll have about $1,000 into parts. So we'll have like maybe 22 right around there into the bike by the time we're finished. But it'll be a cool bike when it's all finished up. Anyway guys, that's the video for today. Hope you guys enjoyed the buying and tear down of this bike. Stay tuned for next video when we hopefully do the first ride. Until next time, we are out.